Story RH, the podcast that makes a long story short.
Welcome to all.
History is made of stories.
In this episode, we'll be looking at why Human Resources Department should go digital.
The time-honored tradition of HR bashing seems to have become a bit of a habit in some circles. You often hear critics say human resources is just the poor cousin of information technology. A lot of people now want HR departments to go digital. In fact, the push towards digitalization has become a bit of a rallying cry.
But before we jump on the bandwagon, maybe we should ask ourselves why. Why exactly should human resources go digital? What's the story?
There are 4 good reasons why HR departments should take a real interest in digital solutions.
The first is something HR professionals have known for over 20 years. Information technology has always led to deep-seated changes in the way HR departments do their job.
That's true. Looking back, efforts to improve HR productivity between 2000 and 2010 all relied on digitalization. Whether they were trying to streamline HR processes, pool resources using shared service centers, or outsource operations like payroll processing.
Basically, HR professionals have had to keep an eye on information technology because it changes the way they do their job. That's the first reason.
Absolutely. And the second reason is something we all experience on a daily basis. Digital technology changes the way we all work. Day in, day out.
That's true. Just look at the boom in collaboration tools. We now have instant messaging and anytime, anywhere, any device solutions that let people do their jobs on the move. Enterprise social networking is another example. Information technology has always had an impact on the workplace, especially on the way people go about their jobs.
The same goes for industry and the changes that led to what we now call Industry 4.0, which has been completely transformed from the way it was a few years ago. Just look at the way automation has changed warehouse logistics.
Robotization and artificial intelligence are revolutionizing the workplace, and the workplace is obviously where human resources comes into its own.
The third reason HR departments should take an interest in digitalization is because new technology is changing the behavior of actors in the HR ecosystem. Job applicants have an entirely different approach today than they did 20 years ago, for example.
Social media has become the go-to source of information about potential employers. It's one of the things that gave rise to the term employer brand, which we now hear everywhere.
Digital technology is changing the behavior of internal and external actors in the HR ecosystem, which means HR departments need to take those changes into account.
Definitely, which brings us to the fourth reason, probably the most important. Digitalization is significantly transforming business. And since the number one goal of HR departments is, in a sense, to help their company thrive, human resources professionals need to be in tune with that transformation.
That is without a doubt the area in which HR faces the greatest demand, but it's also the most challenging. The issue of skills is a good example. Digital technology is changing business, which naturally leads to questions about what kind of skills will be needed in the future. It's up to HR departments to help chart that course.
To recap, the digital technology affects HR departments for 4 reasons. 1, because it's changing the way HR professionals do their jobs. 2, because it's transforming the workplace in general. 3, because it's altering the behavior of actors in the HR ecosystem. 4, because it's key to the evolution of business. Is that right?
Exactly right. Way to make a long story short. Story RH, the podcast that makes a long story short.